Encyclopedia in minutes. Number 4 sphere of the Earth, the biosphere, the biogeochemical cycle. Biogeochemical cycle. A biogeochemical cycle is the pathway or flow of elements among living things and the environment. Energy flows through an ecosystem and is dispersed as heat, but chemical elements are recycled. The ways in which an element or compound such as water, oxygen, nitrogen, or carbon moves between its various living and non living forms and locations in the biosphere is called biogeochemical cycle. Names of biogeochemical cycles: carbon cycle, oxygen cycle, nitrogen cycle, water cycle, sulfur cycle, phosphorus cycle, and rock cycle. Oxygen and carbon cycle. In oxygen cycle, during daytime, plants take in carbon dioxide and give off oxygen during photosynthesis process, and animals breathe in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. In the night time, plants take oxygen and give off carbon dioxide, and animals breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. The oxygen cycle is the cycle that helps move oxygen through the three main regions of the Earth: the atmosphere, the biosphere, and the lithosphere. Now let's come to the carbon cycle. Carbon dioxide, which is present in atmosphere, is used by plants in photosynthesis process to produce carbohydrates. These carbohydrates are eaten by animals and absorbed by plants. Also, carbon is released by animals and plants into the atmosphere during respiration. Now, when these animals and plants die, the decayed matter turn into fossil fuel, which has carbon dioxide in the form of coal and oil. When fossil fuel, which has coal and oil, is burned into the factories, carbon dioxide is again released into the atmosphere. And this is how carbon dioxide cycle works. Oxygen is used for respiration, decomposition, combustion process, and rusting process. Carbon dioxide is used as a refrigerant in fire extinguishers, for inflating life rafts and life jackets, blasting coal, forming rubber and plastics. Carbon is also used in promoting the growth of plants in greenhouses, immobilizing animals before slaughter, and in carbonated beverages. Graphite and diamonds are the elemental forms of carbon. Nitrogen. Importance of nitrogen. Nitrogen is essential for many biological processes and is crucial for any life here on Earth. It is in all amino acids, is incorporated into proteins, and is present in the bases that make up nucleic acids such as DNA and RNA. In plants, much of the nitrogen is used in chlorophyll molecules, which are essential for the photosynthesis and further growth. Nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle is the biogeochemical cycle by which nitrogen is converted into multiple chemical forms as it circulates among atmosphere, terrestrial and marine ecosystems. Important processes in the nitrogen cycle include fixation, nitrogen assimilation, ammonification, nitrification, and denitrification. Process of nitrogen cycle consists of following steps: nitrogen fixation, nitrification, assimilation, ammonification, and denitrification. These processes takes place in several stages. Nitrogen fixation. It is the initial step of nitrogen cycle. Here the atmospheric nitrogen N2, which is primarily available in an inert form, is converted into usable form ammonia NH3. During the process of nitrogen fixation, the inert form of nitrogen gas is deposited into soils from the atmosphere and surface waters mainly through precipitation. Later, the nitrogen undergoes a set of changes in which the nitrogen atoms get separated and combine with hydrogen to form ammonia NH4. The entire process of nitrogen fixation is completed by symbiotic bacteria. These bacteria consist of nitrocase enzyme which has the capability to combine gaseous nitrogen with hydrogen to form ammonia. Next process is nitrification. In this process, the ammonia is converted into nitrate by the presence of bacteria in the soil. Nitrites are formed by the oxidation of ammonia with the help of Nitrosomonas bacterium species. Later, the produced nitrites are converted into nitrates by nitrobacteria. This conversion is important as ammonia gas is toxic for plants. Assimilation. Plants take in the nitrogen compounds from the soil with the help of their roots, which are available in the form of ammonia, nitrions, ammonions, and are used in the formation of the plants and animal proteins. This way, it enters the food web when the primary consumers eat the plants. Ammonification. When the plants or animals die, the nitrogen present in the organic matter is released back into the soil. The decomposers, namely bacteria or fungi present in the soil, convert the organic matter back into ammonia. This process of decomposition produces ammonia, which is further used for other biological processes. The last process is denitrification. Now, denitrification is the process in which the nitrogen compounds makes their way back into the atmosphere by converting nitrate NO3 into gaseous nitrogen. This process of nitrogen cycle is the final stage and occurs in the absence of oxygen. Denitrification is carried out by the denitrifying bacterial species, which will process nitrate to gain oxygen and gives out free nitrogen gas as a byproduct. Phosphorus. Phosphorus is a non-metallic chemical element of nitrogen family that is colorless, semi-transparent, soft, waxy solid which glows in dark at room temperature. Phosphorus cycle. How phosphorus cycle works. Phosphate is released by erosion of rocks. Plants and fungi take up the phosphate with their roots. Phosphorus moves from producer to consumer via food chain. Phosphorus may seep into underground water from soil over time, forming into rock. When these rocks erode, the cycle begins again. Uses of phosphorus. Phosphates are used to make special glass that is an important component of sodium lamps. Phosphorus is an essential nutrient for plants. It is therefore added to fertilizers. In the laboratory, two radioactive isotopes of phosphorus can be used as radioactive tracers. Calcium phosphate can be used to make fine china. The strikers for matchsticks are made from phosphorus. Flares and safety matches are also made from phosphorus. White phosphorus is used in bombs, smoke screens, and tracer immunization. Foods that are high in phosphorus are meat, fast food, seeds, canned fish, milk, cola, and cheese. Sulfur. Sulfur is one of the most abundant elements on Earth. It is yellow, brittle, tasteless, odorless, non-metal. Sulfur is present in all kinds of protein. Plants directly absorb sulfur containing amino acids such as methionine, cysteine, and cysteine. On land, sulfur is stored in underground rocks and minerals. It is released by precipitation, weathering of rocks, and geothermal vents. Sulfur is released into the atmosphere by burning of fossil fuels, volcanic activities, and decomposition of organic molecules. Uses of sulfur. Sulfur is used for many things, the most important being its use in the manufacture of sulfur compounds like sulfur dioxide. Sulfur is also used in medical drugs, skin ointments, dyes, gunpowder, and matches. Sulfur is present in all kinds of proteins, which is essential and is taken by all living beings. Plants directly absorb sulfur containing amino acids such as methionine, cysteine, and cysteine. Sulfur cycle. The sulfur is released by weathering of rocks. Sulfur comes in contact with air and is converted into sulfates. Sulfates are taken up by plants and microbes and are converted into organic forms. The organic form of sulfur is then consumed by animals through their food and thus sulfur moves in the food chain. When the animals die, some of the sulfur is released by decomposition, while some enter the tissues of microbes. There are several natural sources such as volcanic eruptions, evaporation of water, and breakdown of organic matter in swamps that release sulfur directly into the atmosphere. The sulfur falls on Earth with rainfall. The four Earth spheres, that is, atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, and biosphere, each have unique properties and features, but they are not isolated by Earth, and they work together to drive the processes of the planet. Coming up next, purpose of Earth spheres and their importance. To be continued. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and thanks for watching.